in South Africa, and a very warm welcome to you. This is Afternoon Express. My name is Jeannie D. Today is so icy, and it's also been a tremendously icy day in sport, as of course Oscar Pistorius has been sentenced to only 6 years in jail. And then Lionel Messi gets 21 months in prison for tax evasion, so that's pretty hectic. In other news, though, from everyone here at Afternoon Express, we want to wish our Muslim viewers Eid Mubarak. We hope that you're enjoying your holiday. Now, it's right in the middle of the week and right in the middle of winter. And today on the show, we're making a trip down memory lane with two absolute veterans of South African acting. Firstly, Marius Weyers and Sandra Prinsloo are both here. And you may remember their famous role alongside one another in The Gods Must Be Crazy, which is one of the most popular South African films ever made. We're also joined by occupational therapist Mush Perrins, who has some cozy ideas on what to do with the family during these cold winter holidays. And for Winner Home on Afternoon Express, we're taking a look at a breathtaking home in Somerset West. And of course, celebrating Wimbledon, Dan's in the kitchen.
Yes, why thank you, Jeannie D. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's time for us to get into a bit of tea on the show today, as we're celebrating swans and stiff upper lips and all things England.
So true, yeah.
Yes.
So we're making tea today.
It's so good to have you with us on Afternoon Express today. What are we making, Clement?
What's the perfect thing to go with tea?
What is this, red bush tea?
Yeah, you just killed it. Red bush tea.
Well, that's what they call it in England. It's a real thing. Okay, so seriously, what are we making with our tea today?
Okay, what's the best thing to go with tea? Come on, man.
I don't know, rusks. I have rusks with everything.
Scones.
Scones!
We're making, back to basics, we're going scones. We're going to make our own clotted cream.
Oh, yummy.
Something we hear so much about. We don't actually find it in stores.
No.
We're going to make our own today.
Amazing. I cannot wait. If you want to find the recipe, it's on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za, and celebrate with us. Why don't you? Now, today in the loft, we're privileged to have two of our most iconic stage, film and TV actors, Marius Weyers and Sandra Prinsloo, who famously starred alongside each other, as Jeannie said, in the iconic South African film The Gods Must Be Crazy, all the way back in 1980.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, look at my dress! My shoes! I've lost my shoes!
Your what?
My shoes!
I'm sorry.
Well, watch it, Buster.
What a film. Welcome to Afternoon Express.
Thank you.
What an absolute privilege to have you here in the loft with us
back
today.
memories.
How have you not aged?
Oh, please.
She almost drowned. I mean, we shot that scene, that specific scene,
Yeah.
and I had a broken rib, and I had to drop her into the river over and over again.
Yeah.
For a whole week,
For
in
a whole
fact.
week.
7 days of falling
Jamie
into a
wouldn't
river.
be satisfied with the timing. And then I went back to Joburg to do another film, and
Yeah.
she stayed behind. And then he brought in his son-in-law, and he had to do it all over again
Yes.
for another couple of days.
For the 7th day, I fell into the water. That's all I did for 7 days was fall into the water, get out, try and dry off, fall into the water.
But these were, was this your breakthrough roles for both of you?
Well, I suppose in film internationally, but
Yeah.
not really in theatre or
Yeah.
locally.
Did you
no.
ever think that the film was going to be so big? Because still to date, it's the biggest commercial film that South Africa's ever made.
Yeah.
It's done the best.
No, we didn't. I knew it was going to be popular in South Africa
Yeah.
because of Jamie's reputation
Yeah.
and the movies he made before that, but not.
No, I don't think
to this
we
extent.
ever imagined that it was going to be that big. And because in the beginning, it didn't sort of take off with a bang either.
Yeah.
It lay around for a bit until somebody in France, I think,
Yeah.
discovered it
Yeah.
and said, you know, I've got to have this.
Yeah.
And then it was like wildfire. It went everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
How did it catapult your careers? Did you get to tour it internationally? Or what changed in your lives, I suppose?
Not much.
No, one became better known,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and especially overseas.
Yeah.
Yes. The Americans love that movie.
Yeah, it is a
Yes.
brilliant movie.
But
But
it's still very interesting to meet a German or a French person.
Yeah.
you know,
Or a
on plane.
Japanese person.
Yeah, or a
Yeah,
Russian.
or a
And
Russian.
And they can
they're
relate
all
to
mad
work.
about it.
And they all love it and they all know it. And
Yeah.
and I think people are still showing it to their children now.
Exactly.
So it's sort of
They
goes
complain
on
now and then.
on.
They say the children wouldn't stop watching it.
I know. And in France, I know they play it just before Christmas every year on television.
Oh, wow.
Every year they have it.
Celebrated in France.
Yeah.
But you've both done such exceptional work. I want to chat to you quickly about Miss Julie. Like in 1982, you'd had the first interracial kiss with John Carney.
That's right.
And that brought about so much drama in your life. What happened?
Yeah. Oh, it was one of those extraordinary things, you know. I knew there was going to be a bit of trouble. I didn't think it was going to be as big as it was, you know. I remember receiving after there was a photograph in one of the Sunday newspapers, and of John and I very close together. We weren't actually kissing. And then I got a telegram telling me what a dreadful woman I was and a disgrace to the nation.
But you got death threats, apparently,
I
as
got
well.
death threats, and I had dogs sniffing my car for bombs, and yeah, it went on and on and on and on, because then we came to the Market Theatre, and it was much worse up north than it was because we opened at the Baxter Theatre in Cape Town, and there was a lot of abusive stuff coming, but Johannesburg was particularly tough. I found the director one night under the table, and it was Bobby Heaney. I said, "Bobby, what are you doing?" And he said, "Never mind." And he had a torch. "Never mind, just carry on." I said, "No, but what are you doing? I mean, what are you doing under a table with a torch?" He said, "I'm looking for a bomb."
Shame. But it was quite a brave thing for you to do, I mean, back then. Were you ever scared, or did you ever doubt yourself, thinking, am I doing the right thing, or
No,
shucks, should I have taken this
I
off?
never doubted that I'd done the right thing. I'd made that decision beforehand, so I never doubted it. It was quite tough at times, though. It's quite tough when people publicly call you all sorts of names and, you know, and try and blow you up and burn your house down and things like that, you know, so...
But now in 2016, thankfully, we can celebrate
yes,
that.
Thank goodness.
How
yes.
was it for you? Because John Carney is quite a strapping man. I mean, he's got so much presence.
Oh, yes, so John and I got on like a house on fire. We still get on, we still speak. I'm going to have him on my programme quite soon, and we might be working together again quite soon. So we've always gotten really well. We went to England together, to Scotland, to the Edinburgh Festival. And there it was very interesting. It was very interesting because nobody really took offence, you know. They just really wanted to know about the politics back home.
Well, we had John on our show, I think, in May, and this is what he had to say about that kiss.
On the dress rehearsal, I assure you, that kiss was 3 seconds. The lips touched and pushed back. That was it. 200 people walked out.
Sure.
Out of the theatre, banged the doors. The second performance, I thought, okay, that's why they leave. I made the kiss
bigger now.
20 seconds.
Oh.
By the time we opened in Johannesburg, the kiss was around about nearly 30 seconds. And there was movement within the kiss.
Now, you've also had a good couple of roles where you've been quite the ladies' man, and you did quite a stint in Hollywood, and I just have to say to you, thank you for being a friend. I want to know about the Golden Girls. I mean, how wonderful.
I was doing, during that stage, I was doing another series, Good and Evil, and we were working in the same studio complex. So we had lunch together every day in the commissary, and so I learned to know them, and then one day their director, said to me, would you like to make a guest appearance? I said, of course. And it was very strange, like standing on the set after so many years of watching the TV series. It's such a feeling of déjà vu. I've been here before. They were wonderful, very charming.
Yeah, amazing women.
I'm sure, yeah.
And you were on Designing Women as well.
Yeah, and Nurses.
What made you come back from Hollywood?
Paljas.
What particular
The movie.
Oh, the movie. I was thinking, sorry, what?
It's not a swear word. No, they were good times, and they were very difficult times. And, I couldn't do an American accent. I can't do any accent, not even a South African one, properly. And I reached the stage in round about 94, 95, that I started to feel it's very hard. I was doing sitcoms. I wasn't doing anything that I would really like to get my teeth into. And then I filmed Paljas with Katinka Heinz. And then I knew this is what I want to do.
Exactly.
So I stayed.
And what a remarkable career you've had. Well, we've just taken a little trip down memory lane with you, but we're going to be coming back with you in a little while to find out what you're up to now. So we're going to be back with more from Sandra and Marius after the break. And in the kitchen, we get started on our recipe with scones and jam and homemade clotted cream. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. So we're continuing with meat-free week on Afternoon Express this week, and I've got a cup of tea in my hand, and I'm having a little bit of a chuckle to myself because Clement and myself are making something super delicious in the loft today, and my brother has recently decided, oh, I want to get some work experience in what country in the world? London.
Really?
Well, city. But London, he went to move to London, and recently with the whole Brexit thing happening at the moment, he's also going to have to learn to make his own scones at home because the way his pound ain't going to get no further too much longer. So I'm excited to see how we make scones in our own, or scones, whatever you want to call it, and our own, what you call it?
Clotted cream.
Clotted cream. I've actually heard of it. This is exciting.
It's amazing stuff, I promise. Just check it out. So scones are actually the easiest thing in the world to make. I always do a buttermilk scone.
Oh, yum.
And literally, all the ingredients we need for it is right here. Did you know that?
I did know that, obviously, because you're a chef and you prepare yourself, so well done.
Absolutely.
So it's butter, cream,
No.
sour cream,
Buttermilk.
buttermilk.
Almost.
Buttermilk, sugar.
And self-raising flour. That's the secret. So you're not adding, you don't need an extra leavening agent. That's the agent that helps things rise because that agent's already in there. So sugar goes in, and then the butter goes in. You want to keep it nice and cubed. And then what you want to do is start crumbing the butter into the flour.
Oh, I see.
So you're going to keep on doing that until
what
it
effect does
resembles-
that create?
Well, what's happening is you're not breaking up too much of the butter. So you're going to get that extreme butteriness in your scones, which is very important.
Okay.
And another trick with the scones is you don't want to overwork it because you want your scone to be light and fluffy. Overworking it develops too much gluten and you end up with a hockey puck. You don't want that.
Or rusk, as we keep saying on this show.
Hey, I
okay,
love
so I
rusk.
interrupted you earlier on when you said that you were doing that and it should give you a nice, I'm guessing, fluffy and...
Yeah, it's supposed to resemble large breadcrumbs.
Okay.
Another tip for this is actually get the butter and the flour in between your fingers, raise it a bit, and start crumbling. And again, that just adds more air into your
fluffiness and
mixture.
air into the mixture. Okay.
So I'm going to say that's about good enough. And my hands are super, I've got flour claws. You heard
You've
about
got
that?
another 2 pairs. Yes, I have
There
heard
we
of
go.
flour claws.
Okay, cool. So if you can add the buttermilk. Let me just get some of this off my fingers.
Cool. Tell me when you're ready.
Go for it.
Ta-da.
Done. Cool.
Cool.
I was going to say add a little bit at a time, but hey.
Okay. Or just throw the whole thing at the
Throw the
same
whole
time.
thing in.
I promise you, chefs need to be a little bit more specific when they're into this kitchen.
If you can grab your spatula there, if you can just get some of that extra buttermilk out there, we don't want to waste anything.
Sure.
So as soon as it turns into a ball, what you want to do is turn it out onto a floured surface. So I'm going to abandon my wooden spoon here and start using my hands. It's the best kitchen tools you have.
I also heard the same thing. I mean, also I make rusks all the time, and my mum has always developed this great recipe. My dad's got his own one, and they always fight about which one we're going to make for that weekend. But I always found that doing it with your hands is the best way to get it, because you get to crunch all the right ingredients, you get to feel the textures, and honestly create a much better looking, bake, or whatever you want to call it.
It's true, because you actually end up feeling the consistency
Yes.
of your dough or your batter, which you can't really do when you're using
Yes.
electrical equipment.
And also that feeling of the actual motion of squishing the stuff is what's mixing it. I mean, using a spoon, you might miss a few spots and basically just twirling it all around.
And it's fun.
Yes, and it's fun.
Cool. So I'm just scattering some flour on my work surface, and that's about as much working you want to do with your dough. Just bring it together, get it nice and
It
coated.
looks so messy.
That's why I just
great.
love making scones.
Yeah.
So nice and messy, cool. So a little bit extra flour on the top, and that's literally your dough mix done.
Okay, and then what happens next?
Cool. So I'm using. You can use any cup at home that just flour the end so it doesn't stick to your dough.
Okay.
Let me just scatter it over there. It's getting flour everywhere.
This is the best. You like the best son to have. Like all mothers that are watching the show now that have sons who like to bake stuff, are all going, fine, my son, you can actually make a mess and it's okay. Because everyone thought cooking was meant to be one of those neat jobs, and it never is.
It never is.
Oh, I see. And is that the shape that you get for your scone?
Exactly.
Wow.
So that's going to go to the oven for about 20 minutes at 180. Quick, and we'll be done.
Sure. So we're making this legendary dish on the show. You can get the recipe from our website, afternoonexpress.co.za, and download it, make it at home. Send us a few pictures of what you're making as we celebrate Meat-Free Week on Afternoon Express today. Speaking about legendaries and legends, Jeannie's on the couch.
Thanks, Dan. Now, we're back on the couch with our very special guests for today, Marius Weyers and Sandra Prinsloo. Now, this morning I was watching SABC3 and I noticed that they started airing or rebroadcasting an old travel show that I did with Yanez, that for 10 years, I think we travelled the whole world together and we became so close. And I started thinking it's so similar to the two of you because literally you've had a lifetime of a career basically acting alongside each other for so many years. Theatre plays, movies, feature films. How many that you can remember have you done together? That's a lot.
Feature films, about 6 or 7.
That's 6 or yeah.
But a lot of theatre.
A lot of theatre. I mean, I don't think we can even begin to count.
No.
Probably more than 40, 50.
I mean, you
plays.
joined in, what, 68?
In 68, yes.
And
yes.
I joined Pacted in 64.
4.
And since then, we were there for 12 years initially. And we did about 6 plays a year. And a lot of those were opposite each other.
Most of them, yeah. And,
Romantic leads.
Playing romantic leads
Then.
opposite each other.
And then
we know
got
each other pretty well.
And then,
That's such a beautiful relationship to have with somebody, like professional, but you just know each other that extra little bit better.
It's great,
it just makes it so much easier when you do a play or a film.
And especially when you play love scenes, because, you know, it can be a very awkward situation if you don't know somebody very well. And then with Marius, it's like falling off a bicycle. You know, it's easy. There we are. But I think he taught me to kiss in theatre anyway. So.
Is it different to normal kissing? Is there a theatre, like a special theatre kiss or a...
Look, you see, she joined Pact, and our first
terribly
roles were
naive, I must tell you.
romantic leads. And then the director at one stage said to us, look, you're playing the young lovers, and you've got a kiss here. I don't know what to tell you. Just go into the foyer and practice a kiss. So we went into the foyer and we got to the point and I kissed her. And she stood back and she said, do we do it for real on stage?
Well, I mean,
said,
it was
yes.
like, wow, you know, it was one of those kisses. My knees were sort of going wobbly.
And since then, we've been doing it for real on
yeah,
stage.
we've had no problems.
Whether slapping each other, or fighting, or
we do it
kissing,
for real.
we go full out.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What are some of your fondest memories together, on stage or screen?
Whoa.
I think one of the most recent ones was Virginia Woolf.
Oh, yes, that was wonderful. We played Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf
Wow, what a
opposite each
powerful
other.
piece.
Yes, it's a wonderful piece and it's emotionally very draining and very tough because, you know, they fight all the time and it's a fight to the death almost, you know. They bleed all over the place emotionally. And it was so fantastic doing it with Marius and knowing that he's there, you know, all the time. I could just do what I wanted to, you know, if I got the urge to do something a little bit out of the ordinary, he would just be there and respond, and I think that's...
See, that's the kind of freedom you get when you know each other very well.
Yeah, it's trust.
It's like dancing. You don't tread on each other's toes. There's a rhythm.
You don't
that
think
you
about
join.
it, but it just happens, and that's...
So there's a freedom to try new things.
And you've just done Fluiters?
Fluiters, yes.
Fluiters.
Whistleblowers.
Whistleblowers, yes.
That's just finished, hey?
Yes, yes.
Amazing.
Yes, and that also we played once again, husband and wife.
You see, there was a strange thing. We did a lot of theatre and films, and then there was a gap of 29 years.
Yes.
Which we didn't work together at all.
Yeah.
We tried to, but never.
Yeah, what happened? You weren't well suited for those 29 years.
We just went different directions.
Yeah. And we kept looking for a play. We'd see each other and say, oh, we must find something. And then, of course, we never did. Yeah. And then I went to Edinburgh with my one-woman show, and I saw a play there, and I said to Marius, I think we should do this play. It was a two-hander.
For eeuwig en altijd about Mercy.
Yes, Mercy it's called in English. It was a wonderful play, but a tough one to do.
Well, the strange thing is we did that play, and then immediately after that we did Virginia Woolf. And then after that we did
The Seagull.
Seagull. And then a movie.
Yes.
So we've been catching up. After 29 years.
You've stayed so busy in your careers, and I know we were chatting earlier on. You both have relocated to the Cape. You both live in the Cape, in beautiful Cork Bay. I mean, how wonderful. And I was asking Sandra when we were off air, do you ever get burnout? Because your careers are so constantly busy and quite emotionally draining as well, because you've got to put so much of yourself into it. How do you, like, balance your lives so that you can separate kind of that emotion on stage and in a film to your regular life where it's just normal peace?
Well, I think that's not that hard. You know, I think as an actor, you do that automatically. You don't take your work home with you.
Yeah.
You don't. I mean, you drive everybody completely nuts if you did that, and yourself. So you don't do that. But I do find that I need to have a certain routine in my life. I need to exercise. I need to walk my dogs. I need to swim. I need to sail, paddle, or whatever I want to do. And I need to take longish breaks once or twice a year, you know, so that I can just recharge. Because sometimes, like now, I'm busy with 3 plays at the same time. So it takes you, you know, it's quite hard to touch ground. And so it's necessary for me to be very disciplined during those periods. So it's quite nice to be completely undisciplined when you're not, you know, sort of just not think about anything. I'm going on a sailing trip to Greece one of these days, so that's
very exciting.
Yes, that's lovely, yeah.
What do you do to recharge?
I had a tough 3 years until mid-February, and then I took some time off. And I find that's very necessary.
Tough in that you were just too busy?
Yeah, working hard.
Yeah, it's one after the other, and difficult plays and very emotional stuff.
Marius is better at taking off than I am, though. You're good about that.
It becomes very easy for me. I say, OK, this is it. I'm taking a month, 2 months off.
Exactly.
But Sandra can't stop working.
I know. Listen, in acting world, it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, it's true. Because, you know, it's feast or famine.
Exactly.
It can be that there's so much work. And then there can be a bleak period. And I suppose as a freelancer, one's always a little bit worried about the bleak periods.
So you keep on accepting the work.
Yeah, and also I'm curious by nature. So when you give me a new play, I'm curious. I want to do it and I don't know how to say no.
You guys are absolute magic. And you've got a new film that we're going to find out a little bit later. Now, after the break, occupational therapist Mush Perrins gives us some great tips on how to enjoy winter with the family, indoors, at home. We'll be back after this.
Welcome to the Fresh Pack Natural Goodness series. As parents, we all need the reassurance that we're making the right choices for ourselves and for our families. Fortunately, with the natural goodness of Fresh Pack, you can rest assured you're making the best choice for everyday health. With the winter school holidays in full swing, finding stimulating ways for parents to entertain their kids indoors can be a challenge. Joining us today with some creative indoor activity ideas, which are both fun and beneficial to the children's development, is occupational therapist and play specialist Mush Perrins. Welcome to the Loft.
Thank you for having me.
So, as an occupational therapist, you obviously use play as therapy. And I must say, occupational therapy is like the buzzword on every parent's lips these days. How can play be therapeutic?
Good question to ask, because a lot of parents think that play is an absolute waste of time. Play is so magical because it has this link with developmental skills. So a child's able to play with a certain level of developmental skills, but through play, they advance to a better level of developmental skills, and that allows the play then to go to a higher level, and then the development. And so you get this wonderful, wonderful upcircling to eventually becoming a very competent individual at the end of the day. And competence allows one to be happy, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. A stimulated child is a happy child, but often parents take the easy way route out and they do iPads and phones and TV. How can this affect children?
When we look at electronic media and how it impacts on children, the first thing is eyes. But a lot of optometrists are really concerned about the quantity of kids coming through who have visual skill issues. They're not riding bikes, they're not climbing trees, they're not negotiating the outside world outside their house. The biggest thing is obviously obesity. Couch potatoes, and what do we do when you sit on the couch?
We eat.
So it's obesity, lack of poor postural control, poor shoulder girdle control. That affects eyes, that affects your hands. I think also moving through space and having things that you physically engage in builds up your body map. And through that tension, through your resistance through your muscles and your ligaments and your joints, you get a good body map, and then they can control their body actions and be more accurate. Or speech and language, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
People said, oh, put your children in front of this video and they'll learn wonderful speech and language. Absolutely not.
Not.
It's that engaged conversation the child has when they go mama and you go mama back and mama dada, and so that wonderful circle of communication, feeling somebody actually is
like you can
interested in me.
contribute.
Yes, and I'm important.
Winter holidays are upon us. What activities can we do with our kids when we're limited to being indoors all the time?
Sometimes I say set the boundaries and say this is a space that's allocated for you to play. These are the materials you can play with, and then I use themes. One of the themes could be like, for example, game ranges. So, right, okay, guys, let's use game ranges as a theme. What physical activity can we do for that? What hand function activity could we do with that? What hide-and-seek game could we play with that?
And if you've got two boys and all they want to do is fight, what then?
You can fight with the mosquitoes. For example, I've got a what do you call it, a fly swatter.
Yeah.
You could hit bubbles that you blow. You can hit that, or a balloon that you've suspended.
Yeah.
But once you start thinking, right, what else would a game ranger do? Good, he'd need binoculars. Right, let's make a pair of binoculars. What can we use at home? Toilet rolls. Let's make it out of toilet rolls. Things that you could do, right, okay, when they're a bit tired with the physical activity, maybe go into a hand function link. Let's use Play-Doh. Let's make your favourite animal out of Play-Doh. Or let's explore, why do snails and slugs and songololus come inside the house on certain days in winter? Go to the library, research that.
How do these activities benefit the child-parent relationship?
Shared memories. We also know from research that if a parent is involved in the activity, the child will stay with it longer, more so if both parents are involved. So what I often do with my kids, especially their play dates, we'd start an activity, get them really involved in it, then I'd move off, do whatever I needed to do, but keep referencing back, oh wow, that's an amazing pizza that you made there, or I really like that thing you built there.
Okay.
Don't just say it's nice or it's wonderful. They don't respect you for that. You're just saying it to get us out of your space.
Yeah.
Look for some important detail or a little bit of a drawing that you think, that's interesting, tell me about that. Or that's a wonderful colour, I really like the colour you use there. Also praise effort with children, because that allows them to absolutely grow that, I worked hard at that, so that's delayed gratitude, that emotional intelligence we're trying to deal with children. But playing with kids also allows you to go back and play a little bit as a child again, which is really nice.
Yeah. And how do these activities lend themselves to their development?
Obviously, play and development are so interlinked, so the more you physically engage children in activities, the more those skills are going to develop, the more creativity is going to happen. I sometimes find a problem with parents these days is that we do too much for children. We don't allow them to make decisions for themselves. Use that executive brain functioning, planning something.
I guess because we think it's faster if we make the decision.
And we dress them. And we do their projects.
I know all about this.
And it's more a question, let them struggle a little bit. Let them find that within themselves. Let them make that decision and make a mistake. Problem solve around that. That's everything we need as adults. And we expect school to teach it. They expect parents to teach it. And we teach it through chores and through play, which is really nice.
Obviously, hydration is a very important part of this process. And I see you've integrated hydration and snack time into the playtime. How is this beneficial?
Well, obviously very physically active, which we hope kids are going to be at home. You're going to get thirsty. So it's very important because a huge portion of your body is water. Kids often come to me after school, straight after school for therapy, and they're morose and they're irritable and they're really tired. You give them a healthy snack, so often an apple, a piece of carrot and some hydration, some water, whatever you can offer them that's healthy. And that's got to be obviously healthy, not sugar spikes, because then they climb the burglar parts. So through that they calm down, they're well nourished now, they're obviously then better able to engage.
Yeah,
so
and why is rooibos a preferred choice?
Obviously it's caffeine-free. It's a natural product. It's proudly South African.
Yay!
Fantastic gift to send to people overseas. There are lots of different flavours which different children can choose. It's naturally sweet, so you don't actually have to add more sugar. I think we add more sugar than we should to children's diets because that's our preferred taste, but not necessarily children's.
Thank you so much, Mush. You've been absolutely delightful. I've learned so much today. Some great inspiration to beat winter boredom blues in a healthy and proactive way. And of course, Fresh Packed Rooibos is all about doing things a healthy way with so many delicious flavored options to choose from, like honey, lemon, watermelon and mint, and cranberry and pomegranate, as well as the junior range. It's so easy to enjoy all the beneficial antioxidants, no caffeine, and of course the natural goodness of Fresh Packed Rooibos. And it's delicious served hot or cold. Until next week, keep yourself and your family happy, healthy, and enjoying life with the natural goodness of Fresh Packed Rooibos.
Win a home on Afternoon Express, where 3 design contestants are turning 3 empty properties at Valdevie Estate in the Cape Winelands into dream homes using finishes provided by Caesarstone and Plascon. Vote for your favorite and you could win. Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now this afternoon we are once again having our weekly private property chat where we focus on a beautiful property and its surroundings. But before we get to that, let's quickly head over to Valdevie to catch up with our design contestants just 2 days before the completion of their master bedrooms.
So yeah, I'm very pleased my bed is in, all the way from Durban. I thought I'd just bring some blessings from my hometown. So this is the main feature in the bedroom that I was worried about because it's coming all the way from Durban. I'm happy it's in. It's going to tie in with what I had planned for the guest bedroom. What's left now is for me to get my floating shelves in, and I'm also going to be having lights coming down from the ceiling on the other side of the bed, similar to what I had in the guest bedroom, but they're definitely going to be bigger and better. Most of my colors are going to be on the feature wall, and the rest of the room I'm keeping it very neutral, and the bed sort of gives a hint on the rest of the colors I'm going to be using. Overall, I'm quite happy with the progress. I feel like I'm on track compared to the bathroom, to be specific. So you guys can look forward to an awesome room. I can't wait to see it. I'm sure you too can't wait to see it.
So the Caesar stone is too long for the space. The manufacturer cut it wrong, so it doesn't fit in here. I have to send it back to them for them to cut it shorter, at least 80 mils, and then it has to come back here and we have to try and fit it again. I know I sent in the right dimensions, they cut it wrong, and stuff happens. I have to just make it work.
It's getting dark outside. We literally have about 30 minutes left for the day. The building covers just arrived. It needs to go in. Luckily, I have my Caesar stone cut ready. All I need to do is just slide it in like this, and then we're done. But I'm quite stressed because the room hasn't been finished painting. Greg is still busy on this feature wall over here. And Brad's team worked throughout the night to get this ready. My bedside tables haven't arrived yet. They are a Caesar stone collaboration and they're not here. It's a vital part of my room. All my furniture is outside. I'm ready to move in, but look at this place, it's a mess. So let's see how I can get this cleaned up in 30 minutes.
Oh, typical Rudolph, so stressed 2 days before the completion of that master bedroom. I must say, some of the ideas are looking pretty interesting. I can't wait to see what that back wall of Minentle's room looks like. It's got like green paint on it. So I'll go and check it out in 2 days and share all that information with you in just a bit. So today we're joined by Richard Gray on the couch. He's the CEO of Harcourts to guide us through another beautiful property and its surroundings, this time in Somerset West, just outside of Cape Town. Very warm welcome to you and welcome to our loft.
Thanks very much, Daniel.
So we've spoken about some really beautiful areas that have been around, and Somerset West has always been, I find, like a hidden gem because it is not very far out of Cape Town, just a stone throws away. You've got the beautiful Stellenbosch Mountains just around the side there from you. It's a very family-friendly environment. It's nice, it's open, it's not too busy and packed. Right. It's a beautiful area.
Oh, it certainly is. I think it's pretty unique, you know, and as you've described, it's sort of in the mountains near the wine farms. It's not far from those. So you get a lot in terms of where it's just situated. A lot of outdoor life, very popular for mountain bikers, hikers. Yeah. You know, you've got all that sort of outdoor life. You've got really good beaches. One of the things that people often forget about Somerset West is it's only 20 minutes from the airport. So, you know, a lot of people are using that now as quite a good, convenient base. Gauteng executives who kind of base their family down in Somerset West and then come and go easily from the airport and spend the week up in Joburg.
Do you know how busy the place is? And maybe it's a bit of a random question, but is the place overpopulated? Is it quite underpopulated?
It's not bad because there's a lot of room for growth in Somerset West. So there are a lot of new developments coming up sort of outside of Somerset West, which is, so it's not all pinned between the mountain and the sea like other places in Cape Town. You know, it's kind of, it can spread out a little bit there.
Okay, cool. That's very exciting to hear because you always hear that, you know, properties and new houses start to develop where areas are like massive interests have grown there. So it's exciting to see interest grow in Somerset West. It's such a beautiful little area. Let's take a look at the property we've got today. It's behind some mountains and like a beautiful forest area. Talk me through the property.
Yeah, look, it is a magnificent property. And I think, once again, it's inside a very secure estate. So you get all the benefits of estate living. You've got your lock-up-and-go security, which, you know, people obviously love. On top of that, obviously, its location is great in the mountains, beautiful views. And when you walk through that particular property, the thing that really jumps out is its quality and class. You know, it's just beautiful fittings. No expense has been spared in terms of making it a beautiful house.
Wow, it's absolutely stunning. I mean, just the way that it's just opened up for the family. It's got all the facilities you must imagine. I always feel so guilty sitting on the couch. It's like, oh, in the future, maybe one day I'll be able to own something so magnificent. But it is about the rooms, obviously. I mean, when it comes to resale value, I'm very interested in the investment side of it all. Talk us through your favorite rooms in the house.
Yeah, I think the thing that really strikes you is the entertainment area. So, you know, apart from the fact that there's a beautiful flow through the house, the entertainment area, big double volume, huge big wooden sliding doors. Which open out, so that's really magnificent. They've got the koi pond and the swimming pool, so you know that area really is stunning. I think what's quite interesting is it's a nearly 600 square metre house, so it's a big home, but it doesn't feel cold and clinical. Often a big house does, and this has got warmth, it's got the wood. Obviously, my personal favourite would be the wine cellar, but that would just be a personal preference.
It's where you spend most of your time.
Absolutely.
It's so stunning, man, because I think you've mentioned this idea of it being open, and a lot of light gets inside there. It's wooden as well, which gives it a nice warmth feel. Very family-friendly little space. Our design contestants are busy working on their homes in Val de Vie, and it's a beautiful area, obviously, and they're really putting a lot of hard work into creating those apartments. But again, private property's big focus is on making sure that the thing is sellable, it is marketable.
Indeed.
Do you have any tips or tricks for our design contestants?
No, there are a couple of things. I mean, one is always just put your best foot forward. You know, people often only view a home once. So you need to make sure that when they see it, it really looks at its best. So, you know, make sure all the little things are good and make it look its best. I think also then the marketing of it. You know, if you get a skilled agent who's really good at marketing, they'll appeal to the emotions in people, because buying a home is an emotional thing, and they'll find a way to really appeal to them emotionally.
True. And how do you do that?
Oh, I think it's just through clever marketing. You know, it's showing the aspects of the house that will sell it and that will grab people's attention. Firstly, it's knowing who to market it to, but then grabbing those emotions just through the way you do it. Good photography,
Amazing. Great tips, great advice, and again, another beautiful home that we get to display on Afternoon Express today.
Fantastic.
I'm incredibly jealous and can't wait to grow up and get lots of money to go and buy all these really, really amazing homes. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Sure.
Thank you.
So remember to find the home and the neighborhood, which is so important that you perfectly find fits into your needs and lifestyle. And you can simply log on to privateproperty.co.za to do that. And while you're there, make sure that you vote for your favorite winner home design contestant and stand a chance to win big. Welcome back to Afternoon Express. So we're in my favorite spot in the loft, and it's in our kitchen. And today we're making something slightly English, darling. We're going to be making scones on the show today, or scones, or scone, whatever you want to call them.
Scone?
Is there like, I don't know, is there a South African version of the word scone? I don't actually quite know. So today we've made our own homemade ones. They've popped into the oven for 180 degrees for about 20 minutes, you said, if I'm not mistaken?
About 20 minutes, right. So these are ones that I made just before the show started, and the ones we've made earlier are almost done.
Okay.
So we're going to have some nice hot, fresh ones to go with those ones.
Yummy.
Also fresh, totally. Next
so what's
part,
left?
Clotted cream. So what it is essentially is like...
Off cream. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. That's what I would have assumed. Clotted cream is that stuff when you've left the milk in the fridge, you've gone on holiday, and you come back and you're like,
cheese.
Yum. Yeah. That's not what it is, I
So
hope.
what we're doing, a clotted cream is just really thick cream that almost resembles a soft butter in a sense, okay?
Oh, yummy.
So the way that we're making it is all we need to do is get a thick paste pot.
Okay.
And I think pot's essential. You don't want to... We're going to put it on low heat. What happens is the moisture evaporates out of it. So we're using a pot. If we're using a pan, it's a greater surface area.
Yes.
And we're going to kind of like reduce the mixture too fast. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's got to be nice and slow. So I've got 2 cups of cream into our pot.
Cool, and this is obviously normal cream, right?
It's normal cream.
Cool.
And that's going to go on a low heat. And you're going to start watching it in the beginning. It's going to make sure that it doesn't stick and it doesn't catch. Obviously, that's going to change the flavour of your cream.
Would that mean that you need to keep stirring it, or does that just sit there?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Sits there.
So just literally come back every 10 minutes, give it a gentle stir, make sure that the heat is nice and low. And honestly, it's going to take about 45 minutes.
Okay.
You're going to reduce 2 cups of cream to just above 1 cup of cream.
Wow, okay.
It's
so
that
it really
much
does
moisture
reduce.
that comes out of it.
And what do you get in the end? So what's the point? I mean, do you get like a... Oh, is this, oh, it looks like
You
this.
get this,
Okay.
right? And it's been reduced so much. I mean, look at that.
Oh, my word.
It's
It's like a
super
solid
thick.
little block of butter almost.
Exactly, but it's a lot more tasty. I mean, you can season it if you want. You can add some vanilla. You can add a little bit of sugar. I've kept it plain.
Okay, because I would have assumed that on a scone you would usually have your jam and then like a bit of whipped cream or something as the side. You're making something slightly different here.
And this, I mean, just to show you how thick that cream is.
Yeah.
It's that thick.
That is insane, and it looks delicious.
It is, and it's quite expensive. I mean, if you go to those fancy delis, you'll find them probably, but you're going to pay so much money.
So much money, yeah.
You can absolutely make this yourself, and it lasts for quite a while as well. I'm putting it in this amazing jar over here.
Can I quickly sneak something here? Because I just want to sneak what that flavour tastes like. So it is basically like cream, but it's almost got like a cooked flavour. I don't know, obviously it's cooked.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Melted, but it's
I know
got a
what you
slightly
mean.
more cooked flavour to it, because it's like a smoky.
Wow, I wasn't going for smoky, but hey,
I don't know.
Maybe starting something there.
I don't know. Come up with words. You're the chef. Come on, come up with.
Well, the idea
Probably should
would
be
be
my
we
job.
get a nice richness in there.
Rich is a
Remember
good
our
word.
scones have got the slight That buttermilk adds a bit of a tang to it, a very slight tang, and then you've got that extreme sweetness of your jam.
This gives it a complete new elegance.
Exactly. What this does, cuts through that sweetness, it adds another layer of richness,
Yes.
and it creates like a completely wholesome, balanced scone. Absolutely.
It's super delicious.
You're not going to waste that, okay? We're not wasting this. This is going to get used. Someone's going to come and scratch that out. I totally know it.
Oh, we know. We've got gremlins in this kitchen. Don't we know that?
So what I like doing is I pour this mixture once it's reduced into this is just like a plate, okay?
Ceramic dish.
Pour it into a plate, ceramic dish. Pop it in the fridge. Overnight is best.
Okay.
And it really sets up really well. But if you rush for time, I mean, well, actually, you're not rush for time because you spent like 45 minutes making it. 4 hours will do.
Okay, cool.
So
Amazing.
once it's set up beautifully, I'll just put it in a jar like this and make sure that the jar you're using has either a rubber seal or really seals airtight.
Otherwise?
And that will actually, otherwise, it starts spoiling. You're going to get a lot of air going in there. Actually, when it goes to the fridge dehydrates things. Actually take more moisture out of it. You don't want to do that.
Okay, cool. Else you'll end up again with like something crunchy.
Yeah.
It looks absolutely amazing.
It'll last a month in your fridge.
Wow.
I'm thinking clotted cream on everything. Okay?
Well, wait for the next few recipes on Afternoon Express. Pretty much all of them are going to have clotted cream, I can tell you that much. If you want to get this recipe to make the scones as well as the clotted cream, you can go to our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. That's where you can find everything we make on Afternoon Express. Now, our special guests for today, Sandra Prinsloo and Marius Weyers, can soon be seen reunited on screen in the local thriller. It's 2 grade van moord, or 2 degrees of murder. Take a look.
Jy ook nie.
Sê jy die liefde vereis nie opoffering? Kom aan Alexa, klink vir my jy sit met 'n geheim oor die liefde wat ons ander nie van weet nie. Wat is dit?
Jy moet leer om die regte vrae van die lewe te vra as jy wil antwoorde hê.
Vra soos wat?
Ek het gedink jy het tot aanvaarding gekom.
My aanvaarding lyk net anders as wat jy verwag het dit moet.
Ons vrese volg ons net so getrou soos ons eie skaduwee. En vir elke vrees wat ons het, bou ons nog 'n skans, nog 'n muur.
Hierdie familie se tragedie. Is dit jou meelticket Hollywood toe? Hoor jy van my? Hoor jy van my?
Jy en al jou reëls omtrent die liefde. Die liefde is 'n wet in sy eie reg en jy het geen beheer daaroor.
Dis gevaarlik, Christian. Ewenstoets is om jou eie integriteit te vind en te volg. Practice what you preach, lady.
Dis nou ware liefde, mevrou film meisie.
Outside our ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. Will you meet me there?
Daar was net een vraag wat ek moes bevredig. Wat sou die liefde nou doen?
Whoa, that looks heavy.
Movie night.
2 grade van moord. What is it about?
Well, in a nutshell.
Without giving away.
It's in a nutshell, it's about making life-changing choices, I suppose. And when I say life-changing, it's about euthanasia. It comes
Which is
into
a hot
question,
topic.
which is a very hot topic. Yes.
I see also in the film industry, I think locally as well, but I think internationally it's happening. Thrillers are becoming the new big thing, and dramas and murders have become a real big trend when it comes to filmmaking. Have you also noticed that? Is that a big?
Yes, I think it is. But I mean, not that this is really a murder or a thriller. It's much more an emotional thriller, maybe, yes, than anything else.
But I must brag a bit. They had an indie festival last week in Prince Albert. And we won the best feature film.
Yay! Congratulations!
We feel
it's
good about
fantastic.
that. That's nice, yes.
You know, you shoot the film, you don't have any idea what the audience is going to react.
Yes.
Exactly.
And that was
And
wonderful.
and audiences here, I think, tend to like rom-coms and things. And it was very nice to do a grown-up picture. It really was.
What would your favourite genre be? Like, if you have to choose, what do you prefer doing? Because if I have to act, I'd really want to be the villain.
Yeah.
Yes, they like to play.
Villains are always good.
Yeah.
They've got great exit lines.
Yes. Exactly.
I played a villain in Flighters that just
But
finished.
I played the bigger villain.
And she was a big one. But my wife saw the last episode and she said, it's the most hateful part I've ever seen you in.
Sure.
I don't want to see it again.
Oh, sweet.
So,
And I get people going to just make you that really awful person, aren't you?
Do your families watch all of your films and do they crit you? Are they like your biggest fans?
yeah. Fans and crit.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
Oh, really? You refuse to let them watch, or?
No, they don't watch. I don't really watch either. So
Yeah, which is so fascinating. I always find industry people are like that, you know. When you do your own films, like, no one watches that stuff. It's work stays at work.
It's tough watching yourself, you know. It is.
I'm sure.
Oh, it was such an honour to have you guys on the show today. I really learned so much from you. Wow.
Thank you so much for such an amazing interview. Now make sure you catch Marius and Sandra in 2 Grade van Woord. It's at cinemas nationwide from the 22nd of July. You have to support local cinema.
Yes.
You have to support local theatre. You have to go out and watch. Okay, now let's have scones. These are my best.
I don't really know just came out the oven. They are piping hot.
Yes.
Okay,
We each want one.
Okay, absolutely. Go for it.
Please take and go for it. There's a little knife there.
I'll be mother.
Don't lose me.
You've got to wait because you made them.
After all of the
Thank
craft
you.
tables that you guys have been at, I'll hold this one for you.
No,
Go for it.
go.
Oh, you're amazing. Thank you.
Okay, this is so
Marius,
amazing.
yes,
You've got your
yeah.
piping hot one.
Thanks. That's
You want to?
Okay, then what are we throwing on here?
These are
You've
the-
got to
these are
give us the
The
info.
ones you just made, these are piping hot. I'm good with this.
So it's basically jam that we've got, and we've made a clotted creamer, which is super delicious. It's so yummy from the loft. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Good night. Happy eating.
Bye-bye.
Yum.
Bye.
We've got to have butter. Got to have butter.
I'm definitely, this is going to be...
Coming up tomorrow on Afternoon Express, we take a look at South African Menswear Week with young designer Genevieve Lyons, and we chat to social entrepreneur and founder of the Sparrow Society, Kate Senecal.
The hottest address on TV is Winner Home on Afternoon Express. Proudly brought to you by Private Property in association with Nedbank.
Another feel-good production.
Hi YouTubers, thank you so much for watching. Your support means the world to us. Join the Afternoon Express family by subscribing to our channel right here. And we'll keep you up to date with all our recipes and of course our fabulous episodes. Also, feel free to leave a comment and share this video. We do love it when you express yourself.